Good afternoon and good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel and coffee stream number 157. And I apologize for the crying child in the background. He's upset that Daddy has left for work. It's a Wednesdays with Skep, everyone, and hello, Skep. How are you doing?
Hey, sweet. It's great to be here, and I understand about having a youngster in the background. It just goes with raising kids.
Yeah, he's got I think he has my ear infection.
Yeah.
So my mother will be here in about 10 minutes.
It's cold, wet weather that does it. And you guys have an abundance of that. It lasts a long time. And eventually people succumb to it. Plus the weather starts to change this time of year a little bit.
Yeah.
And that alteration seems to bring on another raft of colds. And the kids always suffer the most. So that's a good thing. Had an interesting experience this morning that I thought I'd share with some of you. I know that while we're waiting for a chat to kind of spin up a little bit, I'm seeing Rolling Bear, Green Badger, Seamus, Moonshot. Nice to see you guys. Thanks for coming out to listen to us this morning. Had an interesting thing this morning. I was sitting there listening to Monkey in the morning. I had back pain, couldn't get to sleep, and Monkey says, "Oh, Skep, you're in chat. Why don't you come on?" It's the first time he's ever invited me on. We had a pretty good time streaming together.
Sorry, I missed that.
Well, you could probably catch the replay. Just two really jaded people having a great time of making fun of the world. And I think it's probably fair to say Mike and I enjoy each other's company, and it shows when we stream. It's a good time, and chat seemed to really enjoy it. So
Monkey is really fun to stream with.
He really is. He makes it so easy. That's the thing. He's really talented at this business, and all of us have watched him. All of us who are in here, and if you have a brain in your head, you watch him and you see how to do it right. He just does a lot of things right. He has a natural talent for it.
Yes, he does.
In addition to that dulcet voice, but it was big fun being on with him. I've streamed with him before, where he's come on my show, on Minions, but I had never come on his show, so that was really kind of a fun thing. And that was. So one of the things that we talked about was the latest business. Oh, Irate Prostate showed up. Hey, Irate. See you, bud. One of the things we talked about was the discovery by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of the miracle of the garbage disposal. Now,
oh God,
it's an interesting thing because Monkey and I had exactly the same theory, and he said, "What do you think about that?" And I said, "Well, I actually think that she thinks that that's what playing 3D chess is like. She thought, I'll put on this big, oh my God, what is this even? I've never even seen one of these things to show how innocent and how wonderful, she is, and how wonderful life is without garbage disposal and so forth." And it's going to backfire on her because she just seemed like an insincere rube who was trying to put one over on her constituency. Even her constituency is not that stupid. And so I think that, and the other thing was, it was so forced and so obviously insincere. I mean, if you watched it, it was like a high school drama students' idea of this must be what acting is. Really overacting like this.
Yeah.
She was hamming it up to the point where you just kind of felt if I didn't have such contempt for what the freedoms she wants to take away from me, I would have felt bad for her. So at any rate, so that was an interesting thing that we shared this morning.
Did you see that tweet you put out about a woman who's 6 weeks pregnant is 2 weeks pregnant with a late period?
For the late period, just got pregnant on the exact moment. But okay, whatever.
Because that's what happens. It doesn't
Right.
take 24 to 48 hours for the sperm to
Yeah, exactly.
travel to the egg, and it's not a survival of the fittest thing where one out of billions makes it.
It's like in a Disney movie. Life is a Disney movie in her brain.
Oh yeah.
Life is very simple, and the answers are very simple. And unfortunately, life isn't simple. Life is complicated, and a lot of good ideas become bad ideas in the inefficiencies of people. She doesn't get that. She's that most dangerous kind of a politician, an unbridled, unchecked idealist, which is exactly what Lenin was.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at what Lenin and Trotsky, especially Trotsky, I mean, he was such a true believer, he had to be killed. I mean, he had to be done in by the secret police, and he was assassinated for being too pure a revolutionary, to suit Stalin and the boys, basically. So, and Lenin was very much of that same mold. Tell you another one who was that way, who killed even more people, and that was Mao.
Yep.
Mao
Good old
Zedong.
Mao.
People, you never hear about old Mao, but that's the all-time champion of political killing. Everybody says, well, Hitler, and because Hitler was, we were so close to that. We saw those deaths up close and personal, and we didn't see the 60 million. That's 60 million Chinese people die that Mao killed. Okay, through both political elimination and starvation, engineered starvation, just the same way that Stalin did the Ukrainian famines. Stalin. I don't know if people realize where the Ukraine is, why Stalin wanted to get rid of the Ukraine. But he wanted to get rid of the Ukraine and repopulate it with Russians. Okay, Russians live farther east than the Ukrainians. Ukrainians are more Europeans,
yes,
and less Slavic Russians. And he wanted Slavic Russians to occupy that area and occupy all of that coast of the Black Sea. And but the Ukrainians had lived there for centuries and centuries. They were, not going to go unless they were starved out. So he starved them out.
So he said, okay, fine.
Yeah. Joe was always a practical fellow.
You've chosen your method of death. I will oblige you.
Exactly. He said, I can do that. Totally can do that. And that's what he did. I mean, and the if you read a history, I've read a couple of histories of some of the areas in the Ukraine that were starved that way. I mean, it's like during the first part of the book, you literally have to stop and you weep. There's tears in your eyes. If you're not human.
Yeah.
You just, when you hear about these families, little children starving to death, looking up at their parents with their little eyes. If that doesn't get you, then you're not healthy. You've stopped being human. And after a while, you get inured to it. You just, and it's
you have to, or you go insane.
Yeah, exactly. And you read page after page after page after page. And Stalin gloried in these reports. To him, it was another Ukrainian town that didn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I had kind of that reaction.
That's what OcasioCortez is.
Yep.
That is what she is, and that's what she will do to get her idea of a perfect scenario in place. She doesn't care how many Republicans she kills.
No.
And anybody who doesn't agree with her will become a Republican. Ask Robespierre.
I had that same reaction when my history teacher and had us watch the movie Nuremberg.
Yes.
I basically, after that class, because it took us 2 classes to watch, we had a double period that day.
Yeah.
So we basically watched the whole movie. And after that, I just signed out of school that day.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm done.
Yep.
My brain is done.
Fries you, doesn't
I
it?
am going home.
Yep. By the way, I see that Zombie Teddy and Gunfox have come into chat. Now, RJ's here too. So
Gunny, RJ, hi, all you need. And Gunny, nice to see you're here. I guess work is giving you a break. He's been working for the past month. That's why he hasn't been here.
Got to put those groceries on the table. I understand that.
Yep.
And Green Badger Outdoors has a really good comment here. Utopia is always just one more murder away. And that is just so true. Seamus said, I read the Gulag Archipelago, and that was a heavy read by Solzhenitsyn. That's the story of his imprisonment and basically his persecution.
I'm going to mute real quick and bring Megan upstairs to my mom. I'll be right back.
We'll talk about how bad communism is.
Okay, I'll be right back.
It's bad, see. Anyway, while she's gone, let's see if there's anybody I have forgotten to say hello to. If I have, hello. And just in the event that I have forgotten to say hello to anybody. But that's the problem when you stop listening to people and stop cooperating with people and stop realizing that you may not have a corner on all of the good ideas. When you lose that perspective, you will start to do anything to, put your ideas into place. And if that means, a few bad people have to die, what the hell? And if that ends up being 60% of your population, well, they needed to die anyway, I guess. So there you go. And, Gunny, I leave it up to Asia to kill millions and it's just Tuesday. They do that. For a percentage of population, nobody can touch Cambodia. Nobody can touch Cambodia. They killed, roughly 40% of their population? Killed 40% of their population. They all right, we need to put some wrenches out there. I'll see to that as soon as she comes back, Pink Owl. And there's Zombie Teddy. I think I said hello to you, Zombie Teddy. If I didn't, then hello. But so anyway, that's kind of it. I was scanning the news to see what else had been going on, and I noticed that one of my favorite accounts, which was AOC Press, and it is a parody account of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, had been suspended and destroyed. It was run by a guy named Michael Morrison, and they also took away his personal account. Now, this was a parody account, and it was labeled as a parody account. And the official reason for removing the account was spammy behavior, quote unquote. And it says, while you may use Twitter pseudonymously, I guess that is, or as a parody, commentary, or fan account, you may not use misleading account information in order to engage in spammy, abusive, or disruptive behavior, including attempts to manipulate the conversations on Twitter according to Twitter's official rules. So based on that, and that sounds pretty loosey-goosey stuff.
Is this the new terms of service for Twitter?
Well, no, this is the guy who was running the AOC Press account, Michael Morrison.
Oh,
and he got his account nuked and his personal account nuked. He's been permanently banned from Twitter. May never have a Twitter account again. Yes, he's gone. He's been
parody guy.
Yeah, he's been unpersoned. His personal account, the parody account, his personal account, every account he had is nuked.
Wow.
Nuked. And they said that he was in violation of the prohibition to not engage in spammy, abusive, or disruptive behavior, including attempts to manipulate the conversations on Twitter. Now, I've got a question for you, Blind. There are a few Donald Trump parody accounts on Twitter. Have you seen them? There's not more than maybe 50 or 100.
Yeah.
And I wonder how hard they're being policed. I wonder how many of them have been shut down. And these things have some evil stuff in it. If you go in and start looking at what's in those accounts, the content is just rank. It's nasty.
Wow.
It's like, kill yourself, Donald. Kill yourself, Mr. President. Assassinate yourself. You can't be
And then they
prosecuted
go in
for
after his
assassinating
kids.
yourself. Yeah, oh yeah, and kill your bratty kids first, and then kill yourself. That's over and over and over again. It's time for a mass shooting in the White House, Mr. President. Do your duty. What the fuck? Really?
This is crazy.
And so they get away with that. And this guy is making fun of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez gushing over a garbage disposal. They said, that's it. We can't have that. Jack, your hypocrisy is showing again.
This is insane.
Yeah. So, it's not even-handed treatment at all. And here's the thing. And I think this is a legitimate question and might be very interesting to involve chat in this. And also, I don't know how, we'll just check side chat in a minute. One of the things that, organize my thoughts here. Sorry. This is what happens when you stay up all night.
It's okay.
Your thoughts just go all over the place. It's like marbles. It's just scattering all over a tile floor. Okay. The deal with Twitter is, Twitter is a private entity, and it can ban users in accordance with whatever principles they can think of.
Yes,
right?
True.
Now, the company, should it make a better effort to communicate what kinds of behavior are forbidden and then apply those rules even-handedly?
See, now, to me, I don't think Twitter's a private entity anymore.
So you think it's crossed the line into like a power company?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to say that too, in which case they cannot curate.
No,
you can't cut off power to somebody whose politics you don't like.
No, you cannot. Like, as soon as you become a company for public use, which is what Twitter is.
Well, now remember, the law is different in Canada from the United States. It's very, very different.
I'm not speaking legally. I'm just saying this is what should happen.
Oh, okay. This is the world according to Blind Press. Gotcha.
Yeah. The minute you become if the minute you gain enough traction that millions and millions of people use your platform, and the minute you also become a publicly traded company, I think you have a bit more onus to the people who use your company.
You owe them something for their loyalty.
Yes.
And that is availability.
Yes. No matter what their politics may be.
Well, don't you think they want to be controlled, though, by your juvenile notions of morality?
No.
I just wanted to say that. I mean, Jack, cognitively, from what I can tell, is about 12 years old.
Most people that are on Twitter, unfortunately.
Well,
but you know what? They deserve to be there so that the rest of us can laugh at them.
Well, that's true. When I'm talking about Jack, the guy who runs Twitter.
Oh yeah.
I'm saying cognitively he's about 12 years old because he seems to have never really grown up. He's never really done anything other than sort of be a fairly bright guy in the right place at the right time and have enough ambition to see one project through. And now he thinks that he's on a par with George Washington. He's pretty sure that he's done a great thing when all he really did was, stand there and, this thing grew like Topsy around him, and he had enough sense not to mess it up too badly, at least until now. But now as he opens door after door for Minds or, anybody else who, cares to compete with Twitter by effectively turning Twitter into a hug box, which is what he will do over time. I mean, Zuckerberg is farther down that road than Jack is, but Jack is headed down that road. Facebook and Instagram are just intolerable. Look at what they did the other day. They unpersoned every flamboyant conservative who was out there.
Oh, you know, Cult of Krill really quick makes a good point in chat.
Yeah, what?
He says Twitter is legally treated like a platform, so they can't be sued, but they are acting like a publisher.
Right.
Which is making it one-sided. They need their platform protections removed.
Right. Exactly. That was precisely the point I was getting at, although he said it much better. You know, you can either be a publisher or you can be an editor, but you cannot be both.
No, you cannot.
You can either say, this is a newspaper I'm putting out and I control the content. Okay, you can be that, or you can say, I publish everything that everybody comes in and types into my machine. Okay, I run the machine, I keep it running, and the machine turns out faithfully what you punch in. But you can do one of those two things. You can't have it both ways, because once you start to edit, that turns you into an editor. When you do that, you become responsible for all that stuff. So the corporate veil, he's absolutely right. The corporate veil should dissolve. They should immediately begin to be liable for torts done to people, and in which case they would be sued into bankruptcy so fast they would probably be bankrupt in under a month under American law.
Yeah. Agreed.
So anyway.
What has Mr. Monopoly sent me? He might have sent me an article. Let's
check
see.
Your Twitter DMs.
Oh, it's a Daily Color article. Let me copy that and send it to myself so that I can pull it up in a second. I found an article also about a dinosaur discovery.
Check side chat. Is that a good idea? Can I do that?
Yes.
I'll do that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. All right, go ahead.
So I found an article while I was digging up for news last night. I'm going to pull it up in just a second here. They found a new dinosaur. Was
it alive?
No.
Well, there's news and there's news, right?
Yes. They found an alive dinosaur. That would be slightly terrifying.
Right, exactly.
Because either that means we are severely wrong about evolution, or Jurassic Park is actually a thing.
Right. None of which is good.
No.
None of that is good at all.
No, it is not. But yeah, I'm just pulling it up here. I'm dual browsering here. I've got Safari going for my Twitter, and I've got oops. Maybe I should spell my username correctly if I want to log in.
Yeah. They should have like Slack for the blind. If you're blind, you can kind of be one or two off on your password.
They know what I mean.
Exactly. I'm doing the best I can, damn it. I can't see. Fuck off.
Oh, that's awesome. Let's see.
So anyway,
oh, sick. I'll tell you what just happened after air.
Okay.
Fucking right. Happy though.
Good. I like happy things.
It is a happy thing.
Happy talk, that happy talk. Talk about things you love to do.
Okay, let's find my dinosaur article here. Because this is really interesting. It's a new dinosaur that's related to the T-Rex.
Yeah, that's fine as long as it's not alive.
Yeah.
That's the key for me.
So it says researchers find new dinosaur species linked to T-Rex. So this could be interesting. I wonder if it's a before T-Rex or after, because T-Rex was alive during the final stage of the
Cretaceous.
Cretaceous, and then the meteor hit. So this is interesting. Let's see.
Yeah, T-Rex was the one that got bonked on the head by the meteor. That's the way they teach it to my grandchildren.
Skitteramus hazel? Weird. Hazelch. So it goes back 92 million years to the Cretaceous period, a time when some of the biggest dinosaurs ever to exist lived on Earth. An international team of scientists, including those from Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University, Virginia Tech, and the University of Edinburgh, determined the fresh species by researching two fossils found in the late 1990s. Okay. One of the specimens was unveiled by Dr. Nesbitt, the first name's kind of weird, a paleontologist at Virginia Tech in the 1998. Okay. Researchers. Oh, that's a short fucking article.
Yeah, it's almost like clickbait.
Yeah, that's a frustrating article. I was hoping they were gonna like be all sciencey about it. Fuck you.
Yeah, that was not. I was not blinded by that science.
That's very disappointing.
Hang on, I'm seeing what I can find about this. New dinosaur found in 2019. 3-foot tall Tyrannosaur fossil discovered. Virginia Tech paleontologist finds names new 3-foot tall Virginia Tech Daily. Is that where you were looking?
That sounds like because Virginia Tech was part of the.
What? But were you looking in Virginia Tech Daily? Because that's probably going to have. Yeah,
that will probably have them a more.
Okay, this is a new relative of the Tyrannosaurus Rex, much smaller than the huge ferocious dinosaur made famous in countless books and films, including Yes, Jurassic Park, been discovered and named by Virginia Tech paleontologists and an international team of scientists. Newly named Tyrannosaurid dinosaur, which is called Susquetyrannus hazelae, stood roughly 3 feet tall at the hip and was about 9 foot in length. The entire animal only marginally longer than just the skull of a fully grown T-Rex, according to Sterling Nesbitt, an assistant professor in the Department of Geosciences in Virginia Tech College of Science. In a wild twist to this discovery, Nesbitt found the fossil at age 16 whilst a high school student participating in a dig expedition in New Mexico in 1998, led by Doug Wolf, an author on the paper. In all, Susquetyrannus hazelae is believed to have weighed between 45 and 90 pounds. The typical weight for it's like a Labrador retriever. The typical weight for a full-grown T-Rex is roughly 9 tons, somewhat larger. Its diet likely consisted of the same as its larger meat-eating counterpart, only less. I put that in. It was a joke. With it hunted small animals, but although what it hunted is unknown. The dinosaur was at least 3 years old at death based on analysis of the growth of its bones, and has a picture of the grinning author and the bones assembled. It looks like he's got part of the front jaw, part of the back of the skull. He's got the whole neck and backbone all the way to the tail. He's got one entire leg and most of the other leg and both feet down to the toes and one set of toes or claws. And so it dates back 92 million years to the Cretaceous and so forth. It gives us a glimpse into the evolution of tyrannosaurs just before they take over the planet. It also belongs to a dinosaurian fauna that precedes the iconic dinosaur faunas in the latest Cretaceous that include some of the most famous dinosaurs, such as Triceratops, predators like Tyrannosaurus, and the duckbill dinosaurs who never get any respect, like Edmontosaurus. Of course, if you had a name like Edmontosaurus, would you have any respect anyway? The findings are published in the latest online issue of blah blah blah. Stupid name magazine. In describing the new find, Nesbitt says blah 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 blah. Technical.
Yeah.
The find also links the older and smaller tyrannosaurids from North America and China with the much larger tyrannosaurids that lasted until the final extinction of the non-avians.
Okay.
Tyrannosaurus Rex small arm jokes abound. So if you're wondering how small the arms of Susqueterranus were, Nesbitt and his team are not exactly sure because they did not even find any arm fossils of either specimen.
Oh, wow.
They did find some partial hand claws, and they were quite small. So, and they don't know whether they had 2 or 3 fingers. So
Pincalo says that makes sense. They look at the chicken. They think it's descendant from the T-Rex, but it's tiny.
We used to eat them back in the late Cretaceous, the little ones, and they tasted like chicken. They did taste like chicken.
He
Saying
used to make omelets out of their eggs.
we did. We actually did. And when you fry them, especially if you use like an extra crispy recipe, you can't tell them from the kernels. I'm just saying. Anyway, blah 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 blah. How I found it, blah blah blah. Essentially, we didn't know we had a cousin of Tyrannosaurus Rex for many years. They thought they had the remains of a Dromaeosaurus, such as Velociraptor. That's basically what they thought they had.
Okay.
And then, evidently, they looked very closely at the backbone and the legs. And they said, hey, wait a minute, this thing looks like a Tyrannosaurus. So, a lot of this stuff has to do with, it's a judgment call, and it's just a bunch of guys sitting around. What do you want to do? I mean, anthropologists are famous for this, and paleontologists are cut from the same bowl. Let's see. The name Susqueterranus hazlei is derived from Suski, the Zuni Native American tribe word for coyote, and from the Latin word tyrannus, meaning king, and hazlei from hazel wolf, whose support made possible many successful fossil expeditions in the Zuni bases.
So it's a coyote king.
Yeah, basically a coyote chicken.
King coyote chicken.
King coyote chicken, absolutely. And then it goes.
What kind of sound would a king coyote chicken make, do you think?
I have no idea. That's basically the end of the article, but that was a somewhat more extensive look into who found it and how it was found and what it means and so forth. It's interesting. He's holding in one picture here. He's holding the jawbone in his hands of the little one. It's about the size of the jawbone of, I would say, a terrier dog. Okay.
Okay.
And he's holding it next to the jawbone of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, the lower jawbone of Tyrannosaurus Rex. Mm-hmm. That is appears to be about 4 feet long.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Tyrannosaurus Rex was a big ass dinosaur. They were just absolutely fearsome. They were, just meat. They were the great white sharks of the land. They were just built for eating meat. That's what they did. They harvested meat, and they needed a lot of it. I suspect that probably was a problem. Was they ate through their food supply?
Oh,
in
probably.
A lot of places, and had breeding crises over and over until finally too many of their young were left with starving parents. The parents either ate the young or left them untended, and other opportunist dinosaurs came in and ate the young before they could grow up to be fearsome predators, and that was. I remember that time. God, it was just like raptor eat raptor. Hated it.
That was the original expression, and then it changed to dog eat dog.
Oh yeah, because eventually the raptors were all gone. Nobody didn't make any sense anymore. People thought you were talking about crows and owls and shit. So anyway,
when I was reading that article yesterday about the prisoner, the soldier who was pardoned by Trump.
Yes.
I did actually
spending 5 years in Leavenworth.
Well, he was gonna get 25 years. He got. I think he served 4.
He served 5 years. I think he served 5 years in Leavenworth. That's what I meant. In Leavenworth prison in Kansas.
Now, I don't know much about military law, so that's why I kind of didn't talk much about that yesterday.
Sure.
Do you think what he did is a war crime?
Oh, let's go through what he did.
So he is convicted of shooting and killing an Iraqi prison. An Iraqi prisoner of war.
Right. Now, why did he kill the prisoner of war? There are some legitimate reasons why you can kill a prisoner of war.
He claims that it's self-defense.
Okay, self-defense is a valid claim. Was he able to prove that?
That I was not able to see. I was not able to.
Here's the thing about self-defense. Self-defense in a military court requires an affirmative proof. That's normally supplied almost always by eyewitness accounts. Yeah, the guy was turning on him and he had a knife and he was gonna, he was gonna stab my commander, and so I shot the guy. That's the scenario that you have. But as I understand it, this was more in the way of an interrogation where the guy was not forthcoming with information. Mm-hmm. Wasn't it something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
He was not forthcoming, and he had been ordered to return the prisoner.
Guy, right. And so he said, if I return this prisoner, he is going to engage in activities that's going to get some of my men killed.
Yeah. So
I'm going to take him out. Okay, as a precautionary murder.
Yeah.
That's not something a field commander who is in contact with his superiors can make on his own. His superiors would have had to have okayed that, and they never would have. Okay, that's an unfortunate thing, but that's the way that works. So here's the calculation that this guy made, and it'll make you even be more on his side. Mm-hmm. He said, I'm going to have to grasp the nettle here. I'm going to have to grab the thorn bush, because I'm not going to let any of my men be killed by this asshole going back and reporting to his little bunch of murderers where my men are, how we're deployed, and how best to kill us, because that will give them a huge advantage. Then maybe he didn't feel like he could redeploy, or maybe, a lot of things go into that calculus. But basically he said, I'm going to take out an insurance policy and I'm going to kill this guy. In doing so, I'm going to sacrifice my military career. Yeah. But you do that for your men. Okay. And so he did, in a moral sense, the absolute right thing. He absolutely did the right thing. I'll bet his superiors, his superiors are people who don't view this very differently than the way I do. Mm-hmm. They know what he did. They know why he did it. They are governed by sets of orders that come from a more political class.
Right.
And those people say, wait a minute, we've got to have peace with the Iraqis. And this guy shot an unarmed Iraqi civilian, a totally innocent, Iraqi civilian, practically a baby, nursing at his mother's breast.
Yeah.
That's the way that gets painted. And so they said, we got to hang this guy. And the guy knew that would happen. Mm-hmm. And he still did it and did the right thing. Okay. And then the right thing, the really, really right thing, was for the president to pardoned him.
Yes.
It takes a president with a set of balls to do that.
Yep.
Okay, who says, I'm going to spend this political capital because it's the right thing to do. This guy did a ballsy ass thing.
Yep.
I've got a man down on the field. I'm going to go out and rescue him. That's what he did.
Yep.
But this is where you see the real cravenness of Obama. Obama knew about this guy. Obama wouldn't go near this with a 10-foot pole. For one thing, he would have had to listen to Michelle.
Yeah.
I see you paroled that murderer.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle, can we not go through this? He was not going to deal with that. It would interrupt his dinner.
Yep.
So he left him to rot in prison for 5 years. That's inexcusable. It's inexcusable on Obama's part. You should have pardoned him immediately. You should have pardoned him the day he came back. Unbelievable. Anyway, Trump did the right thing. That's a tough call to make, but a military guy, an officer, God, you care about your men in a way. It's hard to convey what you feel about your division, the guys who work for you, the guys whose lives you're responsible for. You drill and drill and drill and drill. You practice and practice. You try and do things to make them safe, keep them safe. And then sometimes, just the vagaries of war hand you a shitty choice like that. Yeah. And there's not a goddamn thing you can do with it.
It's either you go down or you watch some friends get killed.
That's it. You got it. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't have a happy answer for you. Sorry.
Oh, hello, Pop and Hop. Welcome to the stream.
So is Irate Prostate still in the stream?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think he might have had something else to go do. Too bad. I just wanted to speak to him. Irate, if you're out there, give me a call. Pick up the phone. Give me a call. Jolly Roger Spilchwater.
Hello, Jolly Roger.
And
let's see.
Hey, Irate, check your DMs, bro. Check your DMs, bro.
Skep done slid up in your DMs.
Slid up your DMs, baby. I'm such a nerd.
Oh, here's another one that Mr. Monopoly sent me. So Borderlands 3, which is a video game. New cover art is Randy Pitchburgh shooting himself in the foot. Because that's something you want on the cover of a game. Just somebody shooting themselves in the foot. Fucking brilliant.
Whose idea was that?
I don't know.
Wait a minute. Forward that to me. Is that in your DMs?
Yeah, it's.
Send that to me. Is it in Twitter or?
It's in Twitter. I can.
That's okay. I'll figure it out. If you can forward it, that's fine. If not, don't.
Here, I'll do it on my phone because my computer will.
You'll blow up. And Irate, check your DMs, bruh. Reply.
Bruh. There we go.
And
copy message. There's Skeptalk. Yeah, this is. I haven't read this one actually, so this will be. Oh God! But to have cover art of just some
guy shooting himself
in the foot.
I have to see this.
There, it's in your Twitter.
Oh my God! Borderlands 3. It took me a second to realize that is what he's doing, is shooting himself in the foot. Holy shit. He is. Oh man, have you seen guys? It's a ghetto game. I think it started in Washington D.C. They play it in Philadelphia also, where they shoot each other in the foot.
I think I've heard of it.
Oh my God. You have to, it's on YouTube. You can see it on YouTube because you can see anything on YouTube. And what it is it's these two guys and they're taunting each other. And you know, they're playing Russian roulette with like a 6-chambered snub nose, looks like a 38. It might be a 32. It's kind of hard to see, the guns moving around quite a bit. And they spin the cylinder and then they click it, and sometimes it clicks, but every once in a while it goes off and it shoots the guy's foot, and there's blood everywhere and bones and pieces of foot, and the guy goes, "Ow, God damn it!" He has to go off to the hospital. He comes back from the hospital and they're playing again, and he shoots himself in the other foot. This is not made up. This is real. And it's evidently a semi-popular game amongst the not very bright people on the tough side of town in Washington and Philadelphia, from what I understand. I just thought I'd pass that along. If you get tired of licking those windows, if there's a certain sameness to the taste, get you a short-nosed gun. The cylinders, put one round in and spin it around and point it at your foot and shoot, because that shows what does that show?
I don't know.
That's
Backside chat real quick.
yeah. All right, our rate's just kicking back today. He's very, very relaxed today, so he's just going to take it easy today. Let's see what we got here. Okay, good deal. Good news. Very happy, and I'll check on that other thing. How about that?
Yep.
Happy to do that. Okay. Did you have some news items for today's stream? Did you have something that you wanted to Green Badger Outdoors? They should play with 1911s. I like the way you think, Green Badger.
I'm going to actually read this article.
Yeah. Okay.
The Borderlands article.
Do.
So the newest installment of the franchise to be released after years of speculation will feature their CEO, Randy Pitchburgh, shooting himself in the foot. So he's the CEO. Oh, awesome. Brilliant. Brilliant marketing.
Better and better.
Brilliant marketing. Oh, Pitchford, not Pittsburgh. Oops. Pitchford. So
yeah.
Pitchford, who has recently been under fire for various issues, including using company funds for personal use, and for using company funds for personal use and leaving a USB. So he left a USB drive at a restaurant full of stuff. That he wants to carry on with this newfound image, I guess. The only thing more iconic than the Gearbox in the Gearbox would be then the image of a psycho shooting himself in the head is Randy, a real-life psycho, metaphorically and now literally shooting himself in the foot, said Kelly Romeo, marketing artist at Gearbox. So Gearbox is the company that writes and produces Borderlands. So let's see here. Oh, fuck. Sorry, I just read chat and I'm distracted. So let's see. Duke Nukem Forever and Battleborn. This might be our last chance. Have one. Okay. According to Pitchford, deciding on the design of the Borderlands 3 box art was a long and arduous process. So you decided, I know, I'll just pretend to shoot myself in the foot. The cover art was a major roadblock, as I'm sure you saw on social media, Pitchford said, opening up about the company's recent hurdles. After paying off my house, 3 cars, and purchasing a few Subway restaurants, as one does, we just didn't have the immediate budget to go with the original cover art the fans have come to expect from Borderlands. Well, maybe you shouldn't have done all of that.
There's that.
Okay. Can I... Sorry, Skep. I'm trying to talk to you inside chat here.
Understand.
And now my mother's texting me.
Yeah. No, just ignore. Move on. Move on. Move on smartly.
So, Mom's asking me which ear.
Seriously?
Sorry, guys, for the dead air.
Randy Pitchford is he the one who got accused of assaulting a voice actor? Is that what I remember about this guy?
I think so.
And it said in 2018. That was before that. Let's see. Yeah, Gearbox Software. See, yeah. Apogee. He was from Apogee. Apogee was when I was a gamer, when I was into games, they made my games. They made Wolfenstein, they made Duke Nukem's and Commander Keen and all that stuff. Apogee was awesome, and it breaks my heart that I don't think of him as being anything more than a nerd developer, with a penchant for Ferraris.
Yeah.
And they used to, Apogee was here in Dallas too. They used to talk about him up in Carrollton, suburb in North Dallas, very Tony suburb in North Dallas, zipping in and out of, his reserved parking spot. So there you go. But anyway.
So he's a crazy person.
He's
and his marketing team is enabling it.
I suppose. But
oh God, it says the release date has not been set. Fans can currently pre-order the collector's edition of Borderlands 3, which includes a voucher to medieval times and a flash drive whose contents are being kept secret as a surprise for the diehards, and because lawyers made them do it pending litigation. So there's no release date set, but you can pre-order the game already. That's brilliant. That's just brilliant. Wow.
Sorry, I had to take steps there.
That's fine.
There's a point that you can push me to a point, and that's it.
Pitchford has been with Gearbox since he started, says Hawksilk.
Hi, Scotsman.
The pre-orders are crap. Don't buy them, says Cult of Krill.
Yeah, Krill says Commander Keen. I haven't heard that in a while. I want to tell everybody, by the way, if you want to play Commander Keen, you can play him online. He's in web form, and it's very easy to find. It's free, and you can go over and play all 6 of the Commander Keen games. And I will have you know that I played all 6 of them all the way through, including the end of San Diego.
Cool.
And I got the secret Easter egg at the end. Back then, Easter eggs were new. They said, "Hey, we'll have these special things that if you get to the real end of it, we'll have something amazing." And
Okay.
I've seen the something amazing at the end of San Diego. If you don't see something amazing at the end of San Diego, you have not finished it. You just think you have. And so, yeah, Commander King is awesome. At least it's old style. It's 16, not 16-bit. It's 32-bit gaming is what it feels like. So the graphics aren't great. You don't have the extremely beautiful scenes and the amazing explosions and the busty furry anime ladies coming out to tell you which way to go or give you a key that unlocks something special. But you do have cute little puzzles that you have to get through, and some very tough things that you have to have some real dexterity to maneuver around. And
Commander Keen was always an interesting game to listen to.
Yeah,
like to listen to people play.
Yeah, fuck. Damn it.
Yep.
Almost.
Yep, pretty much. Son of a bitch.
When's my last save?
Yep.
That was me. So yeah, and I eventually got, and I was not really skilled, and that was the way. Actually, I got through the toughest module, which is the Mysteries of San Diego, SAND, and then YEGO. It's obviously a pun on San Diego, and the way I did that was basically save every 15 seconds. And eventually I eked my way through and was rewarded with the cool balm of the true Easter egg ending of San Diego.
Yeah. Pink Hollow says, I had every single Commander Keen, the joys of being a kid.
Yeah.
In the computer industry in the 90s. I also had every Wolfenstein.
He had Wolfie too, yeah.
And every Duke Nukem.
And he probably had the original Duke Nukems too, the 2-dimensional Duke Nukems, the Flatland Duke Nukems.
Oh, which probably
in their way were ripping fun to play too. That they were Duke Nukem. You play Wolfenstein and you think, my God, gaming has evolved from this thing. Yeah, gaming started out for me in like 1990 or so. We were playing this game called If It Moves, Shoot It. And you can actually find references to that online. If It Moves, Shoot It basically was it was effectively like you're in a gallery and things are coming at you. And if it moves, you better shoot it because it's going to shoot at you. And you simply shot it until enough things shot you and you were dead. And then you started over. That was gaming. Then Wolfenstein came up. and you could move through a what appeared to be a three-dimensional space.
Right.
And we were transfixed. We were absolutely amazed. Wolfenstein was truly where gaming turned a big corner. That was where gaming went from flat and kind of expressionless to having a dimension of you moving through the game. And then it's kind of split into two parts, where it was two different points of view. You had the first-person shooter like Wolfenstein, but then there was another thing like Commander Keen, where what you were doing was a God's eye view of a figure, who could who had to cross dangerous ravines and avoid electric shock things and do hopscotches and grasp onto overhead things to avoid alligators and things like that, to get through a puzzle. And then you had those two merging back together with Duke Nukem 3D. And that was the beginning of true first-person shooter type stuff. And then Doom came out, and that was another corner. Doom was the perfection of that. I actually, when Doom came out, I think I could be happy sitting here playing Doom for the rest of my life and doing nothing else. I used to sit and design Doom scenarios, Doom worlds. Just sit there for hours and design them. I'd fill them full of Barons of Hell, and I would substitute like giant Energizer bunnies for the Barons of Hell, and or Barney the dinosaur. So instead of Barons of Hell, you'd have Barney the dinosaur. And instead of the Barons of Hell going, "Arr!" he'd go, "I love you, you love me." And he'd be throwing green plasma balls at you that could really kill you.
That's funny.
And you had to kill Barney the dinosaur. And I loved Doom. It was like first girlfriend. It's like a first love. I think that's why even today, I flirt with the idea of getting really involved in the game, because I know what will happen if I get really involved in the game. I'm going to go. It's bad enough that Terry Diamantis, that bastard, has got me hooked on Cookie Clicker.
Oh, you're still playing Cookie Clicker?
Jesus God. I am up to like 52 duodecillion cookies per second is my rate.
That's funny.
I'm producing more cookies than there are particles in the observable universe every second. Think about that.
Wow.
Yeah. All the particles and all the observable stars are not as many cookies as I'm producing. And I can't get enough of it because it's this constant differential calculus problem. It's just gets it's a rate versus rate. So I spend cookies to buy a higher rate, but as I do so, the cost of gaining a higher rate increases, and I have to do a second order differential. This is differential calculus to figure out if I'm gaining on it or if I'm losing ground by each transaction that I do, so that I have to make efficient transactions so that I'm gaining more cookies. Now, I've made good decisions, so I'm making a hell of a lot of cookies. But it's such an interesting problem, I can't stop it. And my wife crosses in back of my chair, and she's playing that stupid cookie game. But to me, I'm playing the stupid differential calculus game that has like 14 simultaneous differential equations, not simultaneous differential equations, simultaneous differentials that have to be compared, that are constantly changing rates in terms of other rates changing, that have to be evaluated. So I can go in and make a deal. Do I buy 10 more farms? Do I buy 10 more mines? To mine cookies or grow cookies? Do I buy 10 more plasma transformers or prisms?
You're
What do I
reminding
need?
me of Data with that in the episode where the guy pretends to be a history professor and he comes in and Data's listening to 5-6 pieces at once.
Yeah.
Because of the mathematical properties.
Yes, I remember that. Yes. It's except for the fact I'm not near as smart. But it's something like that. But yeah, to my wife who is a much more practical person than I am, she just looks at it and says, "Really? That's just dumb."
Really, Skep again?
Right, exactly. So she thinks something's wrong with me, but she stays married to me anyway. So I guess who knows? Anyway,
so Iran is apparently moving ballistic missiles by boat.
Yeah,
according to U.S. officials.
Mm-hmm.
Because
because you do that.
You do that, yeah.
It's just neighbors helping neighbors. How's your ballistic missile supply? We could use some. Okay, we'll send some over. Hi, could I borrow a couple ballistic missiles? Sure. Run out? Yeah. And groceries.
A video? Go away, video.
So anyway,
I don't need a video. I wanted an article, fucker.
Where is Iran moving the missiles to?
It's not saying, because it just gave me a stupid video.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can pause it and see if there's an article. Because sometimes they do that. Like they force because it's CNN, right?
Right.
So, let's see here. Because I would like to read this article if I can.
No, it's officials say that. You want me to read it? I've got it right here.
Oh, okay. That
intelligence showing that Iran is likely moving short-range ballistic missiles aboard boats in the Persian Gulf was one of the critical reasons the U.S. decided to move an aircraft carrier strike group and B-52 bombers into the region, according to U.S. officials with direct knowledge of the situation. Concerns over the movement of the missiles was one of multiple threads of intelligence from various sources that led the U.S. to believe that Iran had a capability and intention to launch strikes against U.S. targets. Yeah, also Israel. Think about that. On Tuesday, U.S. CENTCOM spokesperson Captain Bill Urban said they had seen indications that Iranian and Iranian proxy forces were making preparations to possibly attack U.S. forces in the region. It's not clear that Iran could launch the missiles from the boats if they are transporting them to be used by Iranian forces on land. The Pentagon is considering sending additional firepower to the region, including anti-missile defense systems. The officials said, the U.S. could send Patriot missile batteries back to the region months after the U.S. had brought some back home. No final decision on additional deployments has been made, but the officials have made it clear that if the Iranians were to pull back, the batteries might not be needed. The Pentagon currently believes that Iran's actions could put the U.S. and coalition forces at risk in Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and Qatar. U.S. military and intelligence officials are monitoring the movement of the Iranian missiles around the clock, but you have yet to see a pullback. The new maritime threat is also causing concern that Iranian-backed forces in Yemen could also move to threaten transit in the Red Sea. The U.S. is not ruling out the possibility that Iran will strike U.S. troop locations in Iraq and Syria, although Iran has an ongoing threat there for some time. The U.S. strategy to make very public announcements about the carrier and bombers in hopes of deterring Iran from any action. Boy, that sounds more dangerous than what I thought it was. And for CNN, you have to realize this is coming through the CNN filter.
Yeah.
So they are going to downplay this as much as possible and look for a way to make
even their downplayment sound very.
It sounds pretty serious,
scary.
Yeah. And if this is a situation where, you know, if I were the president, I would almost say that this is one of those key moments where you have to say, no, you're not allowed to move those missiles where you want to move them. Go put them back where they came from. If you don't put them back, we're going to put them on the bottom of whatever body of water they currently are on. Not only that, if you bitch about that one bit, you're going to lose one city.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we want you to think long and hard about that, because you're gonna know what biblical warfare looks like, bitch.
Yeah,
that we need to say that to them. Somebody needs to say that to them, because that's really the only thing that they will understand. Here's what those imams are saying to their population. They're saying the big bad United States is threatening us with our life. You know, they could probably kill us. We have to do this.
Yeah.
Well, all right. If we're already doing the time, let's do the crime.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go in there and say, you know what? You're right. You're absolutely right.
We are killing you.
Yeah, we are going to make you an example. Men are going to tremble at the fate of this city for hundreds of years. They're going to remember this for hundreds of years. And because of your stupidity, because of your intransigence, because of your head up your assness, you couldn't see any farther than what you wanted to do. You wanted to threaten us. That's fine. Okay. A little bunny rabbit shouldn't threaten a T-Rex. It's a bad move. Assholes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's...
Sorry, I get wound up about this stuff. No, I hate it because people are going to get killed because a bunch of stupid old men in Iran don't have a realistic picture of what's going on in international relations.
That's true.
Assholes.
Gio says these idiots want us to fight Iran, Russia, China, and Venezuela. Fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I'm not happy about it either.
SJWs need to be shipped off the planet. Yep. It's more like a pack of hungry wolves on a frightened bunny. It is. Does someone have a PVR? I hear talking in the background.
Yeah, I hear it also. Is that coming from your? It has to be coming from your side.
Maybe my screen.
I'm muted.
Maybe my phone was a little bit too loud, like because I have the chat.
That's what it is. That is what it is.
I just turned my phone down a little bit. It's louder than usual because of my ear.
I understand. Don't worry about it at all.
Sorry about that, guys.
It's not bothering me. Other people might be able to hear it come through on your channel, on your voice channel. So,
damn my good mic.
Yeah. Just found out. Speaking of microphones, this is what happens when you stay up all night. You digress into everything.
It's fine.
I've been trying to find a buying opportunity for a Yeti so I can have a decent microphone, and had some expenses come up. I'm probably not going to be able to manage it for at least another month.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it's definitely a first world problem. I've just have to make do with my cheap mic. It's not like I have a great voice to begin with. I don't have Monkey's voice.
You don't have a terrible voice, though. It's not like, when you speak, it's nice to listen to you. It's not like,
thank you.
When you speak, it's not like people are going, "Oh my God, not that voice again."
It's not like V. Huh?
I like V's voice.
I
think it's
like V
funny.
because he's V, but it's a very atonal voice. You got to admit.
No, I think it's pretty melodic.
Do you really?
Yeah, he's always all over the place.
Okay. Well, he does have a lot of tones. It just it's a music that maybe I don't get, but that's okay. Not a problem. Let's see. Looking. RJ says, "Does Bugs Bunny have a 9-shooter Skep?" I don't know, but we all should be armed these days. By the way, Alexandria and Cory Booker are coming for your guns. Oh, that was an interesting thing. Are you interested in what Monkey and I talked about this morning, as far as the likely Democrat nominees who will face Trump in the election? He had some surprising choices. He thinks that the best possibilities to face Trump for the Democrats are Cory Booker or Kamala Harris. Just because that Kamala Harris is the press's candidate.
Can I quickly just say something?
Sure, what's up?
Mandy, not everything has to do with Saturday. Please stop. You guys are keeping bringing this up. I am just trying to get on with shit, all right? When I say some people have bad voices, you're the guys who are making that assumption, all right?
Yeah.
Enough.
Look, the stream is not about that.
No, it's not.
And then the next time that there's a disruptive comment, we're just going to have to ask you to go away. And I don't like doing that. I like having a bunch of different opinions on, but that is not what this stream is about. If you want to talk about that, go have your own stream. Don't come in, raid this stream, and distract us and make it shitty for everybody else because you're having a bad day. Go have your bad day by yourself.
Yeah, my stream was entitled "Finishing This Once and for All" for a reason. You guys keep bringing it up. I haven't touched it since.
Yep.
Enough.
So that we're done with that. Next time it comes up, there's not even going to be a comment. Okay. Anyway.
Sorry, Skep.
Anyway, Kamala Harris Monkey says Kamala Harris is the press's candidate because they're just sweet on her. They love her so much. Woman of color, former prosecutor. She's tough and smart and, blah, 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 all that stuff. Right. And she's a woman and black, and she's a woman and black, and she's black.
And
she's a woman, all those qualifications. Then you have Cory Booker, who is,
I am Spartacus.
Yeah, you have Spartacus. God,
what a dumbass.
What? But he's come out with the "I'm going to grab all your guns. You are not going to have gun one. You will have a 5-cylinder revolver if you're lucky. If you pass a massive background check and a psychiatric evaluation that's going to take 5 years.
Yeah.
You can have a 5, but remember, that's got to be renewed every 6 months. So, yeah, he's going to make it almost impractical for all but the very wealthy to own a gun.
Yeah.
And that's the way that the upper crust of the Democrat Party act. They're just elitists, and it sounds strange because they claim, "Oh, we're the party of the people. We're the ones who are close to the real people. We know what it's like to struggle for a living." Bullshit. Bullshitus. Kamala Harris and Cory Booker have never struggled for shit in their lives. In fact, if you look at it, more Republicans started from dirt poor than Democrats.
Oh, yeah.
Democrats tend to come from money. and tend to be guilty about their money and their legacy and the fact they've never had to work for squat. And so that they feel good about giving other people's money away.
When you hear the term grassroots in a political arena, it is generally Republican, because they generally tend to be the working class people. Yeah, like, I'm not saying there are no rich Republicans, but what I'm saying is mostly any kind of grassroots Republican movement tends to be a lower class, working type of demographic.
Yeah.
Than your Democrat.
I mean, Booker was born in 1969. At the time he was born, his parents were two of the first black executives at IBM. Between the two of them, they were knocking down, this was back in 1970-ish, they were probably knocking down close to $200,000 a year. That's like $750,000 a year right now.
Right.
They were making money hand over fist. They were investing in real estate. He was he was a smart kid, had smart parents, grew up in a great neighborhood, and never had a problem in the world. He was awarded a Rhodes Scholarship to study at Oxford. He earned an honors degree in United States history as a member of Queens College. I mean, there is no doubt he is a smart son of a bitch. He has a JD from Yale Law School. They don't just give those out there. And, he has a deep-seated commitment to, offering stuff to the poor. He really does believe in that stuff. But here's the thing. He also has a deep-seated need to expiate his guilt as part of the upper class. And he grew up as part of the upper class, not the upper middle class, upper class, to give your money away and his money away, but your money away especially, okay, to the poor, so that everybody can have the kind of upbringing that he had. And that's where he gets unrealistic.
Yeah.
Because throughout all his schooling, he's had a lot of law, he's had a lot of history. But the one thing he hasn't had any of is economics. He doesn't really understand, I don't believe, how economics work. And he hasn't had a lot of philosophy either. He doesn't really understand the basis of rights and the basis for what guarantees rights. He doesn't understand how the Constitution was formulated or why the Bill of Rights took the form that it did. He's never sat down and read Madison and read the Federalist Papers. He's never read Federalist 10. He probably will say
that would
he has.
Take time. That would take too much time.
Yeah, exactly.
Not enough time.
Man, I don't think you should be allowed to graduate high school without reading Fed 10. If you read nothing else about the Bill of Rights, you should read Madison's writing in Federalist number 10. It will open your eyes and it will give you a real appreciation for why the Bill of Rights exists. Anyway, I don't believe that he has that. He has in almost Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez like cartoon view of giving stuff away and making people happy.
Yeah.
And he has his pet gig is taking guns away from the law-abiding because that will somehow make them safer.
Mm-hmm.
Because reasons, and no one will pin him down because the press just lets him off the hook. And so fuck it. There you go. Yeah. There you go. So anyway, those are Monkey's two top contenders. He buys the Shapiro theory that Biden has peaked and is going to go down from here. I think Biden will lose some points, but I think he's going to be a much stronger candidate than anybody thinks. And here's why. He's a Democrat who's won an election.
True.
And no matter what you say, he can go back and say, I'm a winner. I was with Barack Obama. We brought it home. We brought home the bacon. Okay.
Do you think he's going to use Yes We Can?
It wouldn't surprise me. Yes, we can again.
Yep.
We can do it again. It's going to be something like that. Bring back the good old days. Happy days are here again. It's going to be a time-honored political sloganeering type of campaign.
Yeah.
And that will be his. That's. Well, we'll have to see what he can do, how strong he can stay for how long. But if he can stay strong enough for long enough, Booker or Harris might end up being his vice presidential candidate.
Yeah.
And of the two, I would say it would probably be more likely Harris, because they desperately want to get a woman in there, and a woman with 2 tickets punched, black and woman.
Yeah.
That's a deal. And so they will, RJ says Kamala Harris is a loser. Yeah, she actually was a competent district attorney for a while. When she's a smart person, when she puts her mind to it, she can do a good job at something. The problem is she's becoming a complete political shill for the left, and man, that means bending over and being the whore. It just does, and that's too bad. But that's what is involved, and to an extent, that was a problem pre-Trump. See, here's the thing. I feel a rant coming on. Is that okay?
That is perfectly fine, because I need to go Bloodwing.
Okay, go Bloodwing, and I'm going to rant. Here's I'm going to reveal to you the nature of reality and how all politics works. The reason that Trump is different from everybody else is that nobody owns him. In the course of a guy making his way through the various levels of American political life, it usually starts running for school board, then city council, and maybe a state seat, get some notoriety in kind of a region of your state, and then a long shot run for House of Representatives. You get elected there, man, you're in the House of Representatives, hot damn. And all of a sudden you have a national presence. When you do that, you've got a little bit of power. You got a chip at the big table. So you're sitting there and you get approached by these guys who have offices on K Street in Washington, D.C., and they are called lobbyists. The lobbyists all come up and they offer you money for your vote on certain issues. So the gun lobby comes up and says, if you'll vote pro-gun, we'll contribute this much to your campaign. The farm subsidy lobby, a very, very powerful lobby, comes up and says, if you'll vote for pro-farm subsidies, we'll give you this much money. And some of the lobbies are unbelievable. The rural electrification lobby, yes, there's one of those, and they have a lot of money, comes up and says, if you'll vote to keep rural electrification a thing, we'll give you this much money. And that's why that exists as a department in the United States Department of Energy. And on it goes. Oil and gas, the farm, pharmaceuticals, various portions of technology, IT, cars, manufacturing, steel, coal. Every large industry and service you can think of in the United States is represented by a lobbyist. Special interests are represented by lobbyists. And sometimes these guys will take money from both sides, and just because they can. And the lobbyists realize that they can't do anything about it, and they'll bid against each other. They'll heap gifts on these politicians. And that's how people like Maxine Waters get so incredibly wealthy. Because basically what they're doing is embezzling their campaign funds into their personal funds. They're commingling funds. There are ways to do that and skirt the law. in such a way that you won't get hauled up on embezzlement charges. And pretty soon you find that you're not the captain of your own soul anymore. Different people own you. On this vote, the gun lobby owns you. On this vote, Big Pharma owns you. On this vote, maybe the Planned Parenthood owns you, and so forth and so on. On and on it goes. Liberal causes and conservative causes. They all realize that money rules the day. So most of these people, by the time they get to a place where they could even run for president, they're owned by this checkerboard, this mosaic of companies that constitutes their political personality because of who owns them. They really aren't their own person. They're not doing their own thinking. What they're doing is reacting to who has given them the most money. So the reason that Trump is different from the people who are owned by all these different self-interests is Trump made his own money, funded his own campaign, came in, got a tremendous amount of free publicity because he was so outlandish. The press threw up its arms, said, we can't possibly elect this man president of the United States. It's absolutely outrageous. He played them. He played the press so hard, trolled them so hard, he trolled his way into the White House. So we have President Troll. President Troll got into the White House on a bargain. His opponent spent much more than he did. She even tried to she actually did try and rig the election and still lost. Dead people voted for her. She still lost. Okay. She hired a spy to come in, spy on the Republicans, and then falsify an affidavit to take to the FBI so that they could get a FISA warrant to tap the Trump administration, which still didn't do anything wrong. And now the Democrats are butthurt about that. Okay. And they're still just as corrupt as they ever were. This is the group of people who are going to run against the guy who's still not owned. He's still not owned.
And on top of all of that, he lives in all of their heads rent-free
24/7
in a palatial mansion that all of the money in the world that he owns could not build.
That's a fact. That is with an underground swimming pool.
Yep.
That is an absolute fact. He is absolutely.
It's fun when that happens.
It is. It's something they deserve so perfectly. It makes you believe there is a kind, just, merciful, and decent God that has inflicted the Trump monster on these airheaded, sanctimonious, liberal pieces of shit who basically want to take your rights away from you and restrict what you believe, what you can say, and how you live. There, rant over.
Hashtag skull squatting. I love it, Irate. I love it. Skull squatting.
Skull squatting.
Can I borrow that?
Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah. Irate makes a good point. They all donate to each other, each other's campaigns. There's some very strange relationships that exist for very strange reasons amongst the campaigns. I didn't realize that Cruz had donated to Kamala Harris, but I know that different they'll do stuff like that so that they get access at a certain level. So they'll like Cruz will have a staffer, Joe Blow. Yeah. And Joe Blow will be a pseudo-Democrat. Okay. He'll be active in the Democrat Party because he's basically a spy for Cruz to go see what these guys are up to. And he'll have a lot of money. So he'll go in and he'll actually go out and he'll canvass for the Democrats and look and appear to be a good Democrat soldier just so he can go to the inside baseball parties and find out what's really going on with their strategy and be a source of information back to Cruz. And that's
Did you know Cruz is Canadian?
Ted Cruz?
Yep. Born in Alberta.
But I thought he was American. I thought he was an American citizen.
He is an American citizen. I think he revoked his, because I'm pretty sure he was born in Alberta.
Ted Cruz. I think I remember something weird about that. Because his beard looks very Canadian.
His beard looks very Canadian.
It does. It looks like, I'm a lumberjack and it's okay.
Work all night and I sleep all day. Or
Yeah.
I sleep all night and I work all day.
We're just in women's clothing. Anyway. Yeah, he was born Raphael Edward Cruz on December 22nd, 1970 at Foothills Medical Center in Calgary, Alberta. Who knew? And alrighty then. So he's half Hispanic. His dad was born and raised in Cuba.
Yeah.
And got political asylum in the United States. And his father earned Canadian citizenship in 1973. His father became a naturalized U.S. citizen in 2005. At the time of his birth, Ted Cruz's parents had lived in Calgary for 3 years and were working in the oil business. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that's why there was all that controversy about him being a presidential candidate.
Right.
Because he wasn't born in the States.
Okay, so
his dad murdered JFK. Yeah, I don't think so.
After graduating, no, that's a different Cruz. After graduating from Princeton, Cruz attended Harvard Law School, graduating magna cum laude in 1995 with Juris Doctorate degree. By the way,
magna is below or above summa?
Magna is most high honors.
Okay.
Summa is the, I think. Hang on, let me.
Because I know there's.
I don't want to misspeak that. Yeah, I always get this wrong. Cum laude means with praise. Magna cum laude means with great praise. Summa cum laude is highest praise, and summa is where we get the word summit from. That's right. What I was trying to remember. So magna is the middle. It's better than cum laude. It's not as good as summa cum laude. So that's that. But anyway, yeah, he was a big time, graduate. And you notice, by the way, that Obama did not graduate cum laude or anything. Interesting that he was on law review, which they all like to say, okay, but he never published an article on law review. He was an editor on law review. He never published an article on law review, and he did not graduate with honors.
Interesting.
Yeah, and we don't know what his grades were. So it makes me think that his grades, both undergraduate and in graduate school, were somewhat indifferent. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, earning a law degree from a top-notch school is fine. I just think it's a little bit dishonest to go out and swing. You say somebody was in law review, you're basically implying that was a top-notch, that guy's at the top of his class. And if he never earned the grades to be at the top of his class, I think that's not being completely honest. But
I would agree with you.
I go into the dishonesty of Obama, and God knows there's plenty of that. I'm trying to find where he was naturalized. Let's see, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Let's see. He earned Canadian citizenship. Okay. Cruz's father was born and raised in 1957. This is very poorly written. I think it means that Yeah, I think that this means that Ted Cruz became a naturalized U.S. citizen in 2005. It kind of implies that that the paragraph starts talking about Cruz's father was born and raised in Cuba, left in 1957 to attend the University of Austin, University of Texas Austin, obtained political asylum in the U.S. after his 4-year student visa expired. Then, new sentence, he earned Canadian citizenship in 1973. Okay, no, that's his father. So his father became a naturalized citizen in 2005. There's no word here on whether or not, because if you're, see, his parents were both Canadian citizens, from what I can tell.
Right.
Is that right?
I believe so. I think his father was a naturalized.
His father was Canadian citizen, earned his citizenship in 1973, 3 years after Cruz was born. So so his father was still a Cuban citizen when Cruz was born. His mother was, she was born, she's American. So he has American citizenship from her. So he would be Cuban American born in Canada.
Ted Cruz is the Zodiac killer, said Screen Badger out.
I think that's pretty clear at this point. You know, you can tell from the beard. It's Zodiac killer stuff right there. Anyway.
N equals 9 Inch Nails to me.
Yeah.
It's because 9 Inch Nails is good. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Let me amend that. 1990s 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah, I was going to say old 9
is good.
Yeah.
The Downward Spiral, With Teeth, all those albums.
Yeah.
Those were good.
Yeah, those.
A Perfect Drug, stuff like that.
Like the Rolling Stones, they should have quit. You know, they should have said, "Hey, we had some great years. We're breaking up now."
Yeah.
There are very few groups can keep together a good show and keep it wonderful.
Yeah.
I would say, as long as we're digressing and just going from here to there to here to there, who would you say is an example of a group who did that successfully, who got old and stayed good?
That's hard.
I've got one, but it's got an asterisk.
Honestly,
it's hard to think of one, isn't it?
I know that they're still in the minds of people. Not that old of a band.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to say it's Nickelback. Because
they certainly didn't change.
They haven't changed. Oh, they're back. I will be right back.
Okay. Yeah, I would say Nickelback puts out a consistent product, but I would also say that, for that matter, getting to some old school things here, but Steely Dan, I have to use an asterisk there because they're basically a bunch of studio musicians and two guys, Walter Becker and Donald Fagen. And of course, Becker died a couple of years ago, but up until then, they were maintaining the quality and able to perform live their old hits and do them just as well. If you like that jazz fusion vibe, one that is doing it, I think, is this is just if you just like deep rock music, Dream Theater is aging nicely, I think, and they are just spectacular musicians. Really, some of the best musicians. They're like Primus. Primus is another one. Some of the best musicians to ever pick up a guitar. Let's see. What species is Iggy Pop? Not even human. Okay. I don't know. That's not one that I'm. Yeah, Queen. If Freddie hadn't died, might have been. Freddie seemed to. His voice seemed to actually get stronger as he got older, and Iron Maiden's music was simple and somewhat narrow, so it was easy to keep consistent. But I would say you're not wrong, Carrick. Nothing wrong with Iron Maiden. I like them. It's just that, they're just Iron Maiden. That's all you're getting, and it's not a lot of different musical types in their repertoire. But anyway, I was just noticing that Bjorn said Norway because I was born there, but spent most of my childhood in the UK. Interesting. So, Norway. So, Bjorn, what is Norway like? Norwegians, are they all exceptional ski jumpers? I mean, I'm trying to think of what I know about Norway. Do they eat, kippered fish, pickled fish, and go yodeling off for it? Well, I guess yodeling is more Swiss. But yeah, it's hard for Texans. We have all these stereotypes about Europeans, and we get them mixed up. I figure that Norway is kind of like Switzerland with fjords, with water, and not the annoying French next door. Of course, you got the annoying Swedes next door, so maybe it's just as bad. It's a long border too. It's, a lot of longitude from Oslo to the very northern reaches of Norway. It's an interesting country.
I am so sorry.
I'm just talking about the geography of Norway because here on the attention deficit stream, that's what we do.
Sorry about that. Logan just got back home.
No worries. What was the diagnosis from?
So doctor thinks that it might be viral.
Yeah.
She did notice some fluid on his right eardrum. But she said treat his fever because he does have one. And if it's still if it's not gone away by Friday, to call back because there's no swelling or anything right now.
Okay.
So she's thinking because you know how when you have a cold, sometimes fluid builds up in your ears and everything like that. So she's like, it might just be that.
Yeah.
But I think maybe it is an ear infection because his daycare said that he was holding his ear yesterday. Then I told Mom to tell them that. I don't know if she did. She probably didn't. But hey, at least she was able to take him.
Wow. Thank God you have medical care for your kids.
Yeah.
It can be scary not to have that.
Well, I'll just keep an eye out on him. Give him ibuprofen for his fever, and since it's an anti-inflammatory.
Is he running big fever at all?
He's pretty warm, yeah.
Okay.
He's pretty warm. I would say he's probably at 100, maybe 101.
You stuck a thermometer in him, or do you have one of those talking thermometers?
We are talking thermometer. We need to replace because it's not accurate at all.
Yeah.
So right now I don't have
one
I do not have one that works for me. We have one that Pink Hollow can use. But he's not home right now. He had to go to work. It was so annoying. He almost could have taken Logan to the doctor. He was home almost all morning.
Wow.
And then just before my mom came, his broker finally called.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he picks up jobs from a broker. Is that the way it is?
Yeah, he's still self-employed.
Yeah, he's an independent
contracted out. Yeah.
Okay. So that's good for him. The both our countries were built on the backs of independent businessmen.
Yep.
It was not done by bureaucrats sitting in government buildings. They did not build shit.
No, they did not.
They're parasites who live off the labor of people who did the honest work, who did the hard work, like Pinkala does. Good for him. Good on him.
Well, he just didn't want to deal with like 9 to 5 like office politics.
Yeah.
Or shop politics, because he was a steel cutter.
Yeah.
But you know, the drama of small shop or small office space.
Hey, one thing.
It can be really shitty, says Pinkalo. Like, today is not going to be a good money day. No, it's not, because his wheels were stopped for almost 3 hours. But
yeah, that's the nature of the beast.
Some days you're like, oh wow, and other days you're like, oh fuck.
People used to say when I had my own business for about 6 years, and people say, well, you never know if it's going to be feast or famine. I used to say, actually, it's more like food or famine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you eat today or no, not so much.
Yeah.
I know what that's like, and it's hard, but I hope it blossoms into something. Hey, can I leave you for about 3 minutes? I want to come back, and then also a little inside baseball here. After the stream, you and I need to talk about a couple of things.
Yes. I was actually going to I need to end a little bit about 10 minutes early just because Logan's back.
Okay.
And but you and I can still talk off, like I can be on my phone and stuff.
Yeah.
On the Hangout, and we can talk off air. But I'm going to wrap things up. If you need to like run to the bathroom or whatever,
that's what I'm going to do.
I'm gonna end the on-air portion of the stream.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, listen, thank you for having me on. Remember that tonight is Minions, 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern on the Minions of the Zoo channel. Come join me. I'm hoping Blind Press will
will be there. Yep. And
one of my co-pilots.
The link is in the description for the Minions channel.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
No worries.
And I hope I'll be seeing all of you there tonight. And I will be back to talk with you in just a minute, okay?
All right, cool.
Don't hang me up.
I won't.
All right, talk to you in a minute. Bye, everybody.
Okay. Well, thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream today. Remember, tomorrow is the early, well, you know what? If Logan's not going to school tomorrow, I will need to keep an eye on Twitter, because Logan may have to stay home tomorrow, which means there will be no orientation. So keep an eye on Twitter for whether or not the stream will be at 11:30 or 12 tomorrow. But there will be a stream tomorrow. I will keep you guys apprised as to what time it is. And Friday, the guest is going to be Ghastly Dope, and we're going to have a hell of a fun time, I think. So be sure to come and watch that. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day. I'll see everyone tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good one.